Welcome back to the Chutneys in Hyderabad, India, everybody. So I sprinted on back to this famous vegetarian restaurant as if possessed by some inscrutable demonic force. What can I say, after chowing down at the Chutneys the first time, it was so damn good that I think I actually developed a guilty pleasure for eating innocent plants. Now on my previous Chutneys video, a badass subscriber left a hot tip about another food I should try. It's a little thing called the MLA Dosa, which apparently has upma inside, and that's one of my favorite South Indian foods. So the mere concept of having some upma deep inside a dosa was enough to get me pretty excited, to say the least. Needless to say, I started tearing through the outer perimeter of that dosa, and although I didn't make it to the upma yet, I started making it towards some vegetable action. And whoa, I got some sweet sambar on that dosa, and you best believe I cleaned it off. Anyway, so far I gotta say I'm enjoying this dosa with its slightly crispy crepe-like consistency. And oh my stray dogs, I just spotted me some upma, and I think I'm gonna put some into this scrap of dosa. And whoa baby, that upma is pretty damn hot, it really holds the heat in. Anyway, during my last visit, I got a lay of the land, chutney-wise, so this time I knew exactly which chutney to go for first. And what the hell? I wanted that chutney on the top, but most of it just fell off. Nevertheless, I think I can cope with the situation. I just gotta organism up and get that chutney back on top. So I think I'm ready now, and what the heck? Freaking chutney fell off again, damn boy. Alright, I got my life under control now, baby. I got that sweet coconut chutney on top of a piece of dosa with upma inside, and I put it in my mouth, and oh! Man. Holy fucking masala dogs, that was one delectable bite. The semolina in that upma is tasting rich, creamy, and fluffy as always, and then add that dosa and chutney into the mix, and let's just say you got a buck wild bite on your hands. So I started tearing into that MLA Dosa a little more, and I must admit it is getting a tad messy around here. Case in point, I got chutney water dripping all over that dosa, I got upma stuck to my fingers, and I got vegetables strewn all over my banana leaf. Nevertheless, I thought that maybe, just maybe, I could pull myself together and continue to chow down on this swadished South Indian feast. And oh my Maharaja dogs, I am literally stunned right now. Not only is that creamy upma tasting incredible, but also that sourdough rice flour dosa ain't tasting half bad neither. Add to that sweet coconut chutney, and you got yourself a rich, fluffy, slightly sour, slightly sweet, and kinda tropically bite. That MLA dosa is kinda messy, but the flavor is simply amazing. So with all that considered, I think I'm gonna have to rate this dosa a 5 out of 5 Maharaja dogs. Granted, I still don't know what MLA Dosa stands for, but I think it probably stands for Massively Life-Altering Dosa. Either that or it stands for Most Life-Affirming Dosa, I don't know exactly. But anyway, I continued to chow down on that dosa, and after I polished it off, I moved on to even more vegetarian food options. I got me some Dahi Vada on the left and some Pesarattu on the right, and whoa, take a look at that Dahi Vada, baby. I gotta admit, I'm feeling a tad confused about which one I should eat first. Can you actually blame me? Well, that Pesarattu is looking a tad plain, so I figured I'd go for that Dahi Vada first. Basically, this consists of fried dough Medu Vadas that are soaked in some dahi, aka yogurt action. We also got a whole lot of toppings over here, and I don't really know what those are. Nevertheless, I took myself a pensive bite. And whoa baby, having that fried dough inside some of that plain, unsweetened yogurt is kind of a wild flavor combo. It's basically a sour bath of soggy fried dough, if that makes any sense. I gotta admit, on my initial bite, I was not too fond of this meal, but the more I chowed down on it, the more it grew on me. I started noticing some subtle flavors in here, including some cilantro action, the occasional chili pepper, and those crunchy things. I mean, even though this wasn't the most exciting meal in the world, it had a pretty high quality flavor to it. It tasted like they used choice quality ingredients, and the meal had a light, healthy vibe. So with all that said, I think I actually must rate this a 4 out of 5 Maharaja Dogs. I mean, I started off not that impressed, but as I progressed, it was tasting better and better, and I actually had the urge to just drink the bowl. I mean, I had to maintain appearances, so I did not drink the bowl, but I was definitely thinking about it. Long story short, nice fucking Dahi Vada right there. And now it's time for a little Pesarattu action, sweet tits. I got me that Pesarattu on deck and started tearing into that thing like a wild man possessed. It seemed like a meal that was jam-packed with all kinds of innocent plants, and I was getting pretty excited to try it out. Someone's gotta show those innocent plants who's boss. After all, they gotta be reminded where they are on the food chain. I mean, call me crazy, but it seems to me like plants these days are getting a tad rambunctious. They don't have any respect and they don't have any common decency, but hey, I think I'm getting a tad off topic over here. The point of the matter is, this Pesarattu is basically like a dosa, but it's made from some legume meal. And I must say, it has a more coarse, hearty, whole grainy kind of flavor compared to that previous dosa. So I chutneyed the hell up, took myself a bite, and I gotta say, it was pretty decent. And don't mind me, I'm just cleaning off that chutney water from my Pesarattu. So after chowing down on a little chutney, I figured I might as well try out some more chutney. And man, oh man, that chutney is looking swadished, so I took myself a bite and it was tasting pretty spicy. This chutney's location is actually different from the previous one I was at, and the chutneys here seem to be a tad more spicy. Anyway, after eating that Pesarattu for some time, I figured fuck it, might as well roll up this mofo. I mean, if I keep just ripping off individual pieces, I'll be eating this damn thing for a year, so I might as well get all efficient like. No more dicking around, sweet cheeks, it's time to get serious about life, and I think that Pesarattu rolled up is tasting real nice. I just gotta dab a little more chutney on the top before I continue to chow down. And after savagely biting down on that Pesarattu, I came to the conclusion that this most definitely is a 4 out of 5 Maharaja Dogs. I mean, that puppy was tasting pretty good, and it had some nice zesty fresh vegetables on the inside. However, the fact that there was not upma on the inside saddened me ever so slightly. Anyway, no vegetarian meal is complete without a little heart disease, so I figured I'd go for some cassata action. Apparently this is actually an Italian dessert, but I never heard of it before. It feels kinda Indian to me somehow. I mean, I am in India right now, but hey, I'm getting a tad off topic. Bottom line is, wherever this cassata is from, I think I should probably be taking myself a bite. So I got myself a spoonful, not really knowing what to expect, then I looked at that cassata for a moment. Then after careful consideration, I took myself a chomp. And not only did this cassata look like vanilla and chocolate ice cream, but it actually tasted like it. There's some cakey bits on the bottom down here, and there's also some yellow ice cream as well. I think that yellowish ice cream could be mango ice cream, but otherwise 90% of the rest of this cassata is just vanilla and chocolate ice cream. To be honest, the whole thing didn't really taste that special to me, so I think I have to rate it a 3 out of 5 Maharaja Dogs. I've seen pictures of more colorful cassatas in India, and that's kind of what I was expecting, so I hope in the future I can get one. Nevertheless, overall that was a pretty decent Chutneys experience. Anyway, that about does it for this Indian food tour, but if you want to see more, then feel free to check out my previous videos. I've got a video about more vegetarian food in Hyderabad, and I've got a video about Ramadan food in Hyderabad. I've got those links in the description box. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Why don't you leave a comment, let me know what you think.